Well, how about that? Hear ye. The Bears just dominated the Jaguars in London.
Oh boy.
Wow. That was you could not have written that script much better. Caleb 4 touchdowns. Bears playing well. Cole Kmet having a long snap and doing it pretty damn well while scoring 2 touchdowns. That was that was pretty much perfect for the Chicago Bears. Welcome in. We are live in London on the CHGO Bears postgame show. Shout out to Taylor Dahl, Lance Briggs, Alex Brown for carrying us a little bit of the way right after the game. If you happen to miss that, go check it out because they did the immediate postgame on Briggs and Brown. And we are now live as we get back and situated in London to do our show. Karm and Nick were in the locker room. We got a plenty of sound and reaction to bring to you as the Bears win 35-16 in what was an awesome atmosphere at Tottenham today.
Incredible. I've covered a bunch of Bears games, but from start to finish, the crowd, it was like Soldier Field 2.0. But in London, it was amazing, and credit to all the Bears fans that traveled because it really was a home game for the Bears today.
I haven't had the fortune of being at Soldier Field, I think, for at least as a fan in over a decade, and I think as media, maybe even the same. So I turned to Herb Howard, who was sitting to our right, and Nick, or wherever. I'm like, is this louder than Soldier Field? And then they said it was because the sound was being held in a little bit better. That was an unbelievable atmosphere. I thought the Sweet Caroline towards the end of the game with Bears fans just celebrating like we're 4-2, smoked the Jaguars, back-to-back 30-plus 35-point games. Caleb looking like Caleb Jordan, whoever you want to call him. 4 touchdown passes. That's unbelievable. Just a celebration of how the first 6 games of the season, you can't feel any better than the Bears. I would think can't feel any better than they feel right now going into the bye.
Well,
except for you who want to be 5-1, which I understand you've got high bars in life.
It's one of those things where you're like, oh man, but
But at
the same time, if you ask any Bears fan at this point, would you take a 4-2 start before the bye? Every single one of them would have signed up for that. It's been a euphoric week, right? I mean, everything we've been doing here with True Fan Travel, all these fans, all these events, just experiencing the city of London, and to finish it off with a win like that. In the last 2 weeks, both tailgates at home at the corner of Wabash and Cermak before the Panthers game, and the tailgate here today right outside of Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Like, we haven't gotten to the point yet where we're like, oh, they're going to win for sure. So there's this hesitancy of, are they going to do it, even though on paper it says they will. In the last 2 weeks, they haven't played with their food. They've taken care of business. They dominated 2 teams that they should beat on paper. But at the end of the day, until they get to that point of some teams that we've been used to in our past, they haven't earned that right. But now they're starting to creep towards that part where we can start to trust this team of what we know to expect of them.
Let's not wait any longer with a live studio audience.
Time out. Yes, he lost his voice for everybody in the comments. We tried to yell at him on the bus to shut up. He wouldn't listen, obviously.
No.
I tried to even tell Jenny. No. I tried to even tell Jenny to tell him to stop because he's obviously not going to listen to me. So
you think I listen to Jenny? Come on now.
I wasn't going to acknowledge.
The man's playing ignore the truth.
It's my first game I've seen in 1,078 days. If you thought I wasn't going to scream my ass off for 4 quarters while Caleb Williams threw 4 touchdowns and the Bears completely dominated in London, you are sadly mistaken. Today was an amazing moment. Hoge, I'll let you get your instant reaction, but I've got a million things to say about today's game.
I can't wait to hear all of them, and we all can't wait to hear all of them. But first, let us all pause for this moment in time. Brilliantly created. It's the Adam Hoge instant reaction.
I gotta be honest with you. I need to go on a little rant here for a second.
I can't wait. Let's go. I know. Intro. What is that?
They can't hear it in the room.
You're a professional. So never make that mistake again. Go ahead. Give us your intro.
Right there in red letters.
How the turntables, right, Karm?
Yeah. I know, it's amazing.
That was disappointing. Go ahead. What do you got?
Like the Bears offense, you start
slow. True. That was the first quarter.
And then you finish finish strong. It was frustrating in the first quarter. The Bears like didn't have the ball. All of a sudden there's 5 minutes left in the first quarter. You're like, they've run 3 plays and the Jaguars are marching down the field in what felt like a 30-play drive. But they got the field goal. That's what it is. The Bears do that. They force you to a field goal after all of that. And then the Bears offense got going. This is more almost even like big picture over the last couple of weeks rather than just today. But the Bears taking care of business against teams they were supposed to beat, teams they were supposed to play well against, and not just squeaking out the victories. I mean, these were convincing wins the last couple of weeks against the Carolina Panthers and the Jacksonville Jaguars. So if you want to put out the tweets and put out the stories and talk about, oh, yeah, okay, they played the 3 worst defenses in the league the last 3 weeks, fine. You play who you play, and you take care of business, and the Bears did it with some style points too, with, oh, by the way, a rookie quarterback who keeps getting better each and every week. It's not perfect. There were two moments in today's game where it was really frustrating. I mean, that interception, you could see DJ Moore. We had a great angle from where we were sitting upstairs in the end zone angle, which I love, and you could see DJ Moore was about to come open towards the corner before he even broke out of it, and Caleb was late, and he underthrew it. And then there was another moment later where DeAndre Swift was literally uncovered on the outside. And I honestly not understand how you don't notice that. But those are the rookie moments that you're still going to have to live with. And so when you zoom out and you still see he completed 23 of 29 passes for 4 touchdowns and a passer rating of 124.4.
Yes,
That's
the margin of error is growing.
That's what you're supposed to have with a quarterback that you know is going to be good, that is already playing at a high level despite only playing 6 NFL games. Bears fans should be very, very excited that you can still have the bad in the context of all that good.
Right. He still is, if you want to nitpick him or just talk honestly about what's going on, he's still at times holding on to it a little bit too long, makes you worried he's going to get hit. And he did take some big shots today. But just from the numbers, you put up 35 points today. DJ Moore caught 4 balls for 20 yards. I mean, to the 4 touchdown thing, it could easily have been 6. You had the shovel pass to DJ that could have been another touchdown right there. The wide open pass to DJ Moore that should have been a touchdown. That, I mean, he's still scratching the surface, it looks like, of what he's going to be. And you're talking about that one play. I mean, Nick and I were sitting there like, he's wide open from our from our vantage point. Which
one? The DJ Moore or the DeAndre Swift?
The DJ Moore. The DJ Moore one was like, it was
glaring how wide open he was.
Our angle on it felt like impossible that he missed that throw, but he did. So, and no harm, no foul. I also, look, Tank Bigsby came into this game, he's averaging 8 yards a carry. They held him to 3.4. Yeah. DeAndre Swift couldn't run the ball at all 3 weeks ago. Now he's getting downhill all day long, 17 carries for 91. And how many catches did he have? He had 4 catches for 28. He's like a legit weapon. I mean, things are just coming together.
Well, and two, I mean, DJ didn't have the stat line that you normally have, but you finally see Keenan Allen pop off for 2 touchdowns, which we've been waiting to see. And, the chemistry that Caleb and Keenan had in the beginning of the season kind of got disrupted when he got injured, but now you see it on 2 plays where that back shoulder throw, you need to be on point with your quarterback, where to go with that pass, where Keenan has to adjust his body. But that's good to see that despite maybe one guy not having that big game, Keenan can go off. Rome can have a game. Like, that's what you want to see with all the playmakers that Ryan Poles surrounded this team with.
Yeah, the scooting on his butt thing too. I love that by Keenan. That was whatever that was, that the roll your boat or whatever the thing he was doing.
Well, I mean,
I like the tea party.
I was going to say the tea and crumpets celebration was for the Nines right there. I mean, that was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. This whole game was a lot of fun. You're 100% right, Nick. We've been waiting for the Caleb Williams, Keenan Allen connection that we saw all the way through training camp, and the throw he made in the corner, as a corner fade, which isn't always the best high percentage throw. They connected on that so many times at training camp, specifically in the Bengals joint practice. You saw that exact same throw, that exact same connection. They hit it, dialed it up, and that is what Bears fans, I don't think, have realized was coming. But to your point, got derailed a little bit with an injury. Now you're starting to see it.
Well, Greg, really quickly on that play, it was actually a run play. And that's what Keenan alluded to in his press conference that, again, Caleb checked out of. He saw it was a one-on-one matchup, and you like that. You like that matchup every single time. So it was a run at the line of scrimmage, checked out of it, throw a perfect ball to Keenan Allen.
How many keyhole throws did you see from Caleb Williams today? A ton on third down, multiple times, so many times where he's throwing into a window. And I know we're going to get to our franchise focus here in the second segment, but how can you not start this show talking about Caleb Williams? He throws an interception. Sure, he makes a mistake. He doesn't see DeAndre Swift. None of that matters. When you have an offense that can move the ball like this, that has a quarterback that's capable of these kind of plays, your margin of error grows exponentially. You have a defense and a special teams you can lean on, and those mistakes that used to be glaring, that used to cost you games, now we're a blip on a radar of a much bigger picture when you talk about the game that Caleb Williams had. Absolutely dialed in. 4 touchdowns, should have been 5. DJ couldn't quite get it in. I mean, this was a breakout performance right before the bye week. Now you have an opportunity to look at 6 games on tape. You have 2 weeks to prepare for the Commanders. I mean, all things are leading towards a moment where the Bears can really start to hit their stride.
It's a terrible job by us, by the way, burying the lead that is Cole Kmet, but we can get to that down the line with what a day.
Well, all respect to Cole long snapping. Caleb's the lead today.
I don't know, man. 2 touchdowns. Just step right in.
Ran that dude over.
He kind of sat him down, too.
Yeah.
Like, it was.
No, that was
incredible.
incredible.
And Shane Waldron was in his bag.
He was.
The first series. All right, we're never going to, first 15 plays, whatever, just throw the script out, I guess. But after that, Shane Waldron really starts to get in his bag. That fake right, fake left, Cole Kmet up the middle. That he put that on a silver platter for Cole Kmet to make a play, and then he finishes the play by running a dude completely over. So impressive.
All right, let me reset for a second here, because first of all, I should also mention that we have an awesome group of Bears fans here with us in the room, by the way.
Yeah.
Great day overall that started earlier this morning, and a bunch of the fans that came with us through True Fan Travel, and some additions, I think, to the group today too, because there's a huge group in this hotel down in the lobby as well. So everybody's hanging out and we lost some along the way too, because I don't know that they all. Does Brandon Spano not know we're doing a post game show right now? Should we put him on? Should we put him on?
Hello, Brandon Spano.
That's the CEO of ALLCITY calling.
We're live on the air right now, and I want to see how you're doing. How are you, Brandon?
They can't hear him. So.
You are not on the show, but we are definitely interested. Are you safe? We're excited for you to get back to the double street.
I know he is a speakerphone option.
This conversation is on the show, and if you put him on speaker,
I'll see you in a minute. I got 2 bottles of whiskey with your name on it. I got a cigar with your name on it. Get on over here, Brandon.
Okay.
The gorilla's out of the cage. Breaking news. I'll see you in a minute, Brandon.
Great. How about, do we have super chats out of the cage? Do we have our big money super chat to start the show, as we like to do here on the post game? And we got almost 2,000 people watching as well. So please hit that like button. Where are we at on the likes? Come on. I can't see. We don't have our normal setup.
We're the 149er.
That's got to be way over 1,000 at this point. Tom, with $10 super chat here, the NFC North teams have combined 15 wins. That's number 1 in football by far. The next closest division is the AFC West with 12 wins. These divisional games coming up are going to be an absolute bloodbath, and that's true. It's not going to be as easy as it's been the last couple weeks, but they do get a bye, and we need to talk about some of the injuries because those are starting to pile up. Good to have a bye week coming back from London, and then a game that I still think might get flexed, and we'll certainly have a spotlight on it in Washington against Jaden Daniels, and then the Patriots after that. So some winnable games before you get to that gauntlet, which we definitely are going to have to talk about. But first, let's talk about Miller Lite. Been with us here on the trip to London. We love our crew from Miller Lite, and here's the thing: a lot has changed over the years, and including. It seems the Bears have a quarterback, so that's number 1. But one thing that has not changed, the great taste of Miller Lite in this debate that keeps going on, right? It's that it's less filling or it has great taste? Well, really, it's both. And Miller Lite sparked this debate in 1975. They still haven't completely settled it. We love Miller Lite. We've had plenty of Miller Lite while we've been here in London, and that's because Miller Lite keeps it simple. Undebatable quality, great taste, only 96 calories. It's the beer that strips away everything you don't need and holds on to what matters most. A light beer that tastes like beer, less filling, only 96 calories, the original light beer since 1975. You do not have to choose what's best. Miller Lite has great taste and is less filling. Tastes like Miller time. To get Miller Lite delivered right to your door, go to MillerLite.com/CHGO football. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories per 12 ounces. Fewer calories and carbs than premium regular beer.
So since I met Gregory P. Allen Braggs, I've been looking to improve my golf game because this guy talks a lot of mess. I wanted to hit the ball straighter. I wanted it further. I wanted to not.
I also beat you by 15 strokes the last time we played. I'm sorry.
Stop talking.
I'm sorry. I just
I'd really love to pay you to not speak, and I will consider to do so. Our friends at PXG Golf would certainly appreciate that. You don't have to worry about getting everything perfect to make it a good shot. So listen, I headed over to my friends at PXG. I got fitted. It was an amazing experience. And now, I mean, this was 10 years in the making. The PXG Gen 7 irons, it's the greatest leap forward in technology and performance. And honestly, my game was so bad. And all of a sudden, it's a little bit better. Things, and I imagine when I get even more used to the clubs, it's going to go to the next level. The PXG Black Ops Iron Challenge has had over 1,200 entrants, by the way, beating the competition in distance or dispersion. That's a cool thing that they're doing over there as well. You want your irons from PXG. Upgrade your bag with PXG clubs and take your game to a whole new level. For a limited time, you can save $10 per club. Go over to pxg.com/CHGO. Use that code CHGO. That's pxg.com/CHGO. The code CHGO. $10 per club on your order. pxg.com/CHGO. Code CHGO.
All right, time now to get to our franchise focus, and the franchise with quite a game today, despite a couple misses along the way. 23 of 29, 226 yards. He also added 56 rushing yards along the way as well. 4 touchdowns, the 1 interception we spoke about, and he was sacked a few times for just 5 yards though. And one of those incompletions went off Matt Pryor's head.
That was pretty funny.
So we talked to Matt Pryor about that and the throw going off his face, which is an outstanding interview. That'll, if it doesn't make it on the show, it'll be on our YouTube channel. Yeah. But
can you explain to me though why your guy Tyson Bagent had -3 rushing yards?
Yeah, see, so this Bagent kneel down thing, and now he's lost 7 yards in the last 2 weeks. That's not good for Bagent. But here,
killing his fantasy
team player
stats,
though. Team player.
But I went up to Tyson in the locker room afterwards, and we had a brief chat. And the only thing he had to say about today was, "What a day! What a day! What a week!" And he didn't even apologize for his dad, who hasn't responded back to my numerous texts today, because I think he's having a great day. Look, Caleb, I'm starting to learn him as a Caleb viewer, that he is taking some hits that you don't want him to take, but he does have that feel where you think he's about to get smoked, and he somehow is able to get himself out of there. And if you kind of play that down the line of when he really knows what's going on, he's got that skill set of a quarterback who's going to be able to extend plays with his mind and his feet. And that's one of the things that I'm most excited about today.
Well, to me, you have to give a huge compliment to the offensive line in that regard, because for him to be able to escape out of some of those pockets, he had so much time in the pocket to be able to get out of there. And it's not collapsing in the way where he doesn't have outlets to get to. And that the offensive line, the first couple series, it wasn't perfect. But then as it kept going, he was, I felt like the offensive line, and obviously you got to go back and watch it again, where you're not down in beers and you're not up in the upper south end zone and watching it from a different vantage point. But to me, I thought the offensive line did a spectacular job to give Caleb Williams the comfort to feel like he could extend those plays.
Well, let's hear from Caleb. Caleb Williams speaking after the game from what'd you guys think of that whole press setup, by the way? Pretty nice, huh?
Very nice.
Tottenham?
Yeah.
Well,
Nick said there was a PS5 in the media room.
That was nice. The food was amazing.
Yeah.
The whole stadium was amazing. But I mean, honestly, and thank you to London, because they're the only place in the world that allows the media a sweet seat anymore. I mean,
it's true.
Incredible
I
seat.
mean, that was I was like, well, I haven't been to a Calvert game in 10 years, and I probably won't for another 10 years. But these seats were sweet. I was really lucky to have that happen.
Hopefully, Kevin Warren's taking notes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Those seats are $1,000 a ticket, easy. There's no way we're getting those ever.
let's just hope in their stadium planning that they put a press box in this stadium, unlike the last one.
Yeah.
All right, let's hear from Caleb Williams after the game and what he had to say about what was really just a cool day overall in London.
Calling the season, still going to play what you saw, and
yeah. So throughout the week you watch film, and they're backers and things like that. They're good backers, but I think team-wise they're fast flow, and so they fly around, and so we had a bunch of mismatch and kind of having Keenan run around and then back go here and then Cole bluff and then go down the seam. So offensive line, Keenan, all these guys, they did a great job. All I had to do was throw a length to Cole down the seam and let them do the rest. So to everybody else, it was great. Obviously good getting that touchdown in and getting everything going.
Just a second touchdown to Cole, was wide open for that end zone. Is that a little high read or what do you have there?
Yeah, so we practiced it throughout the whole week, and Cole did a great job because him and I made an adjustment with his route, before the game, and so he did a great job with that. And then, so I knew they were man. They tried to push the safety over to I believe it was DJ over there, and he was running the slant. So they pushed the safety over to help, and it was supposed to be one-on-one corner ball, and then safety fell off, and then the corner was supposed to fall off, or whatever happened over there. I think they busted coverage, but Cole did a great job going up and getting it.
Caleb, you just became the first rookie quarterback for the Bears to score 4 passing touchdowns in a single game since 1999. What do you credit with your early success?
Offensive line, coaching, progress, the leadership on this team. For me, the constant mindset of keep going, and then I think us getting out there and getting our momentum going, us getting out there and executing, us believing in each other, is what you credit it to.
How's the game feel for you right now? If you think back to those first couple of weeks, some of those games, Houston, you're sitting there in the locker room just trying to think through some of the things that could have gone differently versus how it feels to you during the game and afterward now.
Yeah, I think throughout this whole process of these past couple games we've had, I think I've been seeing it well, and that starts throughout the whole week watching film, getting there in practice, talking to the coaches, players, and things like that. So I think seeing it well. I think the comfort level of just like I've talked about before, getting back to playing football, and where I need to be, eyes need to be. If I need to hold a safety, if I need to just hang on a route. So just getting back comfortable of just having that feel for the game. Obviously, you study, you watch, and do all these other things, but once the ball snapped, you gotta have that post snap read and know what you have to do and be confident about it. So I think that's what I can contribute to.
What did you see on the interception?
Yeah, DJ wide open, and I didn't add enough juice behind it. I didn't put it where I put it in practice, which was the back pylon, and safety had an easy interception, and I need to be better because that would have got everything going instead of turning the ball over. We can't have turnovers. Something that I pride myself on. Obviously, it affects the whole team. It affects the momentum, especially when you have a wide open receiver like DJ streaking down the field. So I got to be better. Definitely frustrating. Definitely had a few words for myself after that, but got the mindset back on track and ready to go for the next job.
You could actually tell after.
I love that.
Yeah, after they made the tackle and the play was over. I mean, Caleb immediately, you could tell, was just like upset. Back pylon. I mean, that was nowhere near the back pylon. No. I mean, that was it's just a bad miss. I mean, and it happens from time to time. But again, I think it's just this is part of what the differences feel like with this situation, guys, in that I just feel like with the past quarterbacks, we'd be talking about how that cost them the game or about how there's a big problem on everybody's hands because you have that moment and you have another moment where one of his guys is wide open, literally uncovered, and he doesn't even see it. And in the context of panic, that would be how we would be discussing that. And instead it's like, oh, actually his passer rating was 124 despite all that.
Right. I was talking with my guy, Nick Verha here coming out from Germany. He comes to Chicago. He comes to our tailgates. He comes to London for every game. And we were at the game in 2019, and he made the point, when you think about where the Bears were at in 2019 when they lost this game, and it was kind of this moment in 2019 where you were like, okay, this team does not have it. This isn't what we thought it would be. And they completely changed our expectation of where they could go. This is a totally different vibe, to your point, where the former two quarterbacks, now you've got this guy on a trajectory. Just after 6 games, I think he tied Mitch Trubisky and Justin Fields for the record for rookie touchdown passes in 6 games, right? We got 11 more to go, ladies and gentlemen. And when you talk about the throw he made to Keenan Allen, back shoulder up the seam, that is one of the best throws you will ever see from a Bears quarterback. And we've only just begun, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, that is, to me, that was the whole emphasis on how excited you should be as a Bears fan. The thing that also got me excited too was at one point he scrambled for about 30 yards. He slid at the 50-yard line. He got up pissed off because he didn't want those 30 yards that way. And that just goes to show you the expectation level that he puts on himself. And the sky is the limit for this quarterback. And it is so exciting to see him start to come into his own this early in his career. Obviously, there's going to be ups and downs, but he has so much talent, and it's just going to be an exciting ride every single week. To be able to watch this guy develop is something that Bears fans should be excited for years to come.
What interested me the most about the interception, how is he going to respond in the next series?
Yeah.
Well, the next series, they got the ball on their own 15 and included the 30-yard run that Braggs just referenced, where he got it to the 50, where he had at least another 10 yards in front of him. He looked like he was like a fish out at sea, didn't know where to go. There was so much room, but they went down after the pick. How are you going to respond? Well, we're going to have a drive. We're going to score a touchdown.
And not only that, Karm, I mean, that was 7-3 at that point, and that was a wide open touchdown. Again, I'm going back to how backbreaking moments like that used to be, and instead, touchdown, 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 touchdown.
Right.
Those were the next 4 drives.
Well, and it was a huge moment because Jacksonville was driving. Kyler Gordon makes a shoestring tackle as he's being blocked, and we'll get to Kyler here a little bit because there's certainly a concern with him, but he had some huge plays early on. He gets the Bears defense off the field on a 3rd down tackle, which then gives the Bears the ball with 4 minutes to play at the end of the first half. They use all 4 minutes on the clock to get down there, score a touchdown with 14, to get them up 14-3. That was a pivotal moment in the game that can't be understated when you talk about the pendulum swing.
Well, I think too, after that interception, what Keenan Allen, he said, was he pissed off? And he was. And I think then you just saw those precision throws later on in the game where, yes, he was inaccurate on that one to DJ, but there were some tight window throws where he needed to be absolutely accurate in between linebackers in the middle of the field. And Caleb was just dotting guys all over the field. So I did like the encouragement after that interception.
Bears are in their bye. They're 4-2. We've got a ton from the locker room coming up. We got a ton right here. Got all the things for it. But first, I want to shout out to our friends at Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary, here to elevate your fall, your winter, your home for judgment-free cannabis shopping. They've got the crazy selection, 100 different strains to choose from, something for everyone, even for those of you who are like, I need the uplift, I need the chill, I need the mellow. They've got everything for you. They are here. There's also the Good News Tea Time disposable vape for those of you who are still playing a little golf in your wintertime, maybe traveling, doing some of that.
Tea time, London?
Yeah, why not?
No,
I mean,
different.
people.
Where are we going?
People, you're going tomorrow. It's going to be great for you.
I'll be sleeping in.
You can sleep in with Greg too and enjoy yourself by visiting Sunnyside.shop for Bright Buys every day, including 50% off your first 3 online purchases. Enter our promo code HICHGO at checkout to qualify. Exclusions apply. Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary. Bright Buys every day, only for 21 and older or Illinois medical card holders.
And we're sponsored by Chicago Sports Network, the new home of the Blackhawks, Bulls, and White Sox games. CHSN will broadcast more than 300 live games per year across the Blackhawks, Bulls, and White Sox. Will feature a full lineup of original Chicago-focused sports content. They're also Chicago-based, Chicago-built, and Chicago to the core, and they're bringing it to every corner of Chicago across our 77 neighborhoods and beyond. At CHSN Chicago comes first. Visit chsn.com for more info on how to watch the Bulls, Hawks, and Sox games all season long.
So before we get to Cole Kmet real quick, Nick and I were hanging in the locker room. I have mentioned I haven't been there in a long time. I was expecting a little more enthusiasm in there afterwards. These dudes, all business. No big deal. 6 games in, 4-2. I thought it was pretty chill in there. I don't know how it felt any different to you. You're in there every week.
No club dub.
No club dub. No club.
Let's say that. I'm sure there's a video that's going to come out where they're.
Well, yeah, they do get to do their thing before we get access to the locker room.
It was a mellow locker room when we were in there.
Yeah, I think that's
because even you were in there.
Could have been because of me. Could have been like, I can't believe they let this guy back in here. Get him out. We can see him once a week on Fridays.
Karm killed the vibes.
It could have been me.
Even after the Panthers game, it wasn't like it was this crazy electric locker room, but Mark was there this time, so I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, guys were in a good mood. I'm not saying they weren't, but it was pretty. They
were probably like, oh no, we got to go get on a plane for 9 hours.
They're in their bye week. These guys are going off to Mexico or wherever they're going to go for take a couple of days. They should be completely. I mean. Sure, it'd be better if you were 6-0 or 5-1, but it's a good first 6 games for the Bears and a great week.
So many Bears fans we met at the stadium. Our guy Chris just came here.
Came
in. I told him, get over here. Come to our post-game show. Here he is. It was a special day just meeting all these Bears fans internationally. So many different countries represented.
Yeah, I mean, even walking out of the stadium, the amount of fans that stopped us, and almost none of them were from America. I mean, it really is incredible. And we appreciate everybody that at some point.
And we're so sorry for Mark Carman.
Yeah. I had a great time today.
It was good having Mark in the press box today.
I thought I provided great perspective for all the press box people. I also walked and saw my guy Callum, who hooked me up with the Wimbledon tickets, and I repaid the favor today and was walking through on the concourse. And shockingly to you, Gregory, a lot of people stopped me and said some really nice things. That the beer guy here, the beer guy here, they just has a huge sign that just says lager, and there's no branding on it or anything like you.
No, do you want the lager or the premium lager?
I mean, I was like,
and it costs the same.
I didn't.
Wow.
I'll take the premium, please.
I
don't want the unleaded.
I love
it. Was all
lager.
Miller. It was all Miller Lite.
I'm sure it was. It was absolutely. That's why it was so delicious. But that was amazing.
So the way that unfolded in the first half, what was that?
That was Greg
slurping his 8 whiskey of the hour.
That was
1,000%.
Maybe it was me.
You have them. They do this.
And I do this.
Okay. Well, the way that unfolded in the first half with the long snapping thing, I was just like, we were losing our minds in the stands because we're like, wow, I can't believe this is really going to happen after Cole talked about it on the 85, like basically about how terrified he was of that happening. We had a clip that we put out on social media. This happened back in August when we were discussing this on the 85, one of the first few episodes. He's like, yeah, Patrick Scales is not allowed to get hurt.
With Torrey Taylor, right?
Yeah.
Because Torrey
and they talked about it on that too.
Right.
But obviously Scales has been hurt. They're already on to a new long snapper, and Scott Daly, who unfortunately suffered a knee injury.
And he was in a brace after the game.
Yeah, he was immediately ruled out.
In the locker room, he was in a brace.
And I'll give positive notes about just seeing guys walk around. Kyler Gordon walked pretty normally to the bus from what I could tell.
So he wasn't. Yep.
Yeah, we'll get to Kyler, but that's good to hear. So, and as soon as that happened, I couldn't even tell who was down from how far away we were. And then I figured it out because Cole was all of a sudden snapping on the sideline. And I was like, that's and then sure enough, they ruled him out almost immediately. So you're going, all right, the rest of this game, he's going to have to long snap. This will be very interesting. And then on top of that, who scores the first touchdown where he has to snap? It's Cole. And I honestly was like, Flus needs to call timeout right now. because he scores a touchdown, and not only was it a long touchdown, he trucks 2 guys on the way to the end zone. Then he celebrates. He's got to be out of breath, and I'm just thinking, bang a timeout here. Give the guy a moment. But instead, they just let him go, and this –
look, he's not soft like you, Hoge. Right up there, snap the ball, perfect snap. I know you're tough too. I understand, but
that's nothing to do
with
with me. We've had multiple times at Carmel where this has happened, where our holder scores a touchdown and then he drops a snap because he's too tired.
That's good info right there.
Yeah,
that's good info.
It's a real thing.
Yeah, but
did you just raise your hand, Kevin K? This is not a class. You don't have a mic.
What's the question? Is there?
And I saw that on Twitter. So the question was from the audience: should they have just gone for 2 from that point? And I honestly, it's how much do you trust your long snapper? And obviously, Cole did a pretty good job. Now, if you're gonna go by like NFL long snapping standards,
he was high.
One of them was good. If you're gonna go by emergency long snapper, can they just get the kicks off? They were all good until the last one, which got blocked. It got tipped, and that one was higher than the rest of them.
Well,
but he was getting the job done. And fortunately, I don't know if you guys noticed this, they didn't have to punt the rest of the way. That snap is 15 yards compared to 8.
Right.
Now, I also wondered, though, if that factored into them going for it on 4th down a couple times late in the game. I think they went for it twice on one of those last couple drives, and I was thinking in that moment, I'm like, that might have to do with the snapping situation. If if it's like 50-50 or you're debating it, let's just go for it so you don't have to have it. Because really at that point in the game, the only thing that was going to turn it the wrong way was something like a catastrophic bad snap that turned into a touchdown going the other way.
Yep. And Patrick Manley, legendary Chicago Bear, most games played ever as a Chicago Bear. Obviously a great snapper in his day. Hall of Fame worthy snapper, I might add. He gave his breakdown on Twitter for both snaps, said, who cares about the touchdown with Cole Kmet? Great snap from Cole Kmet on the first one. But then on the last one, on the missed field goal, little high on the snap, Cole Kmet. We need to work on that. Yeah. So maybe Patrick and Cole get in the lab here in the bye week.
Well, I want to hear what Cole had to say about this post game because that we knew from watching the 85, and you should go subscribe to that, by the way, both as a podcast, it's separate podcast feed, and on YouTube, the 85 with Cole Kmet channel. And it's going to be fun talking to him after what happened today, obviously. But I want to hear what he had to say after this game because I know he talked about it and had a press conference afterwards at Tottenham.
What was weird being on non-snapping today or being that open for the first touchdown?
Yeah, definitely not a position I envisioned playing in the NFL ever. But you got to do what you got to do. There's only so many guys you can dress on game day and only so many guys that can have on the roster. So you got to have somebody that can be the emergency. And I'm that guy reluctantly at times. But, I get my 2 or 3 snaps in on Thursday and we go to Sunday. And, it's always my biggest worry going to the game. And hopefully Scott's doing all right and everything heals up okay. But, just glad I could go out there and just provide something for the team in that regard.
Cole, how did you wind up with that duty?
Someone found out that I did in high school. These guys know everything about you. So they found out I did in high school. My uncle did it. And I remember my dad, me and my brother would be messing around doing it in the backyard all the time. And it was just kind of like a more you can do thing. And, thinking like if you ever needed to make a team, if you're a guy that's, the 54 or 55 guy and they're deciding between 2 guys that, having that ability, they're going to keep you on the roster for those type of things. And, obviously I'm not in that position right now, but that was kind of the mindset of learning how to do it. And, I wanted to play in the NFL one day, and that was kind of the thing behind it, and paid off today, I guess. So I was glad that I could just help out where I could.
Your first touchdown today, the play design seemed like something that was in Shane's book for a little while there. What did you see with the fake double screen?
Yeah, just a great play concept. He had run it in Seattle before, and, they presented a good defense for us to run that, and we had run a bunch of screens where we're flying the guy behind and pulling those backers out. So just kind of blocked my guy on the line for a second there, and Caleb gave a good fake, and then just right up the shoot and was able to break a tackle and get in the end zone. Because I'm just doing all those reps all the time, so I know what to expect. I know what I can do out there. But I mean, like I said, long snapper, I take 2 snaps a week, really. So it's not like I have a ton of time on task on that, like I do at tight end. But at the end of the day, like that's kind of what this league is a little bit. You kind of just have to plug and play some guys. Guys are playing out of position here and there, and it just happened to be me today.
So is the emotion you feel like just getting through it just kind of relief, or?
Yeah, I think I was tired enough on each of those where I'm not even thinking about it in a sense. Like you're just so tired on the field that, just, okay, I'm going to shoot this ball in between my legs real quick and get this over with. So yeah, I think that's kind of the feel. I think going in the night of the game though, I do think about, I kind of run my head through all the scenarios and the plays, and then I just think, gosh, I hope Scales or Scott don't get hurt today.
Cole, what were you on time? A really good perspective on the Bears as a guy that grew up in Chicago.
Yeah.
How excited do you think people should be by what Caleb has done the last 2 years?
Yeah, well, so, people can be excited as they want to be. I think what I can say about Caleb, he's taken steps every game, and I think that's been evident. And I'm sure he'll tell you he'll probably want that one throwback that he had to DJ, but I thought besides that, did some really amazing stuff. I thought the scramble he had to me was just an unbelievable play, and just how he can create and do those type of things. And then, if they're going to play man on us like did a few of the times, and things might be a little covered or muddy downfield, he's able to escape the pocket and get 20, 30 yards in some of those runs. So he's just super dynamic. He's a pass first guy, but he has that ability to run as well, and I think he does a pretty good job of taking care of himself when he does become a runner as well.
Cole, what's the dynamic when you look up? When you got hurt, what was your perspective? Did someone tell you, hey, he's not?
Well, yeah, I didn't know he got, HT came up to me and said, hey, Scott's hurt. And I'm like, Tyler Scott's hurt? And he's like telling me, and I'm like, okay, why does that affect me? He's like, you need to get some snaps in. And I'm like, oh, shit, I got to do stuff. Yeah, so that's kind of how that went down. And then immediately started firing snaps between my legs. And thankfully didn't have to do any punt scenarios. I'm pretty sure we had that 4th and 4 scenario before Keenan caught that ball. And I was like, this is usually a punt pin situation, but I'm sure coach was like, let's try and get the first down here. And that's kind of what happened.
But what's your mentality when you look up and you see there's one dude in between you and the end zone? When do you decide, am I going to try to juke and get around him? Am I going to go through him? And
yeah.
That like you out there today?
Yeah, I think for my skill set, it's always trying to run dudes over, and that's kind of how I look at it, and trying to get half a man. I remember Jimmy Graham kind of taught me about that. In anything that we do, whether it's blocking or you're in pass pro or you're running routes, you always want to work on half a man, and that's the same thing when you get the ball in your hands. You take a half of a man on him. He's half his body weight, and now I got my full weight, my full speed going at him, and so I was able to shed him, and I'll probably get docked for reaching the ball out there for the end zone, but there was no way I was getting a sniff line either. So that worked out well. Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
After the game, confirming a couple things there. First of all, it was interesting to hear him talk about trucking those two guys at the end zone, which was cool. But also, think about it. He gets 2 to 3 long snaps a week.
Not a lot of reps for a very important position there.
But did you hear that was amazing what he said about it? Why don't his dad's telling you, hey, you want to be able to give the team as much as you can give them. You might be in a situation where you might not make a team, but if you'll be between you and another guy, you could long snap, so you'll be out there, and he learned the skill. That's a great mindset right there. Also, a great mindset is I'm going to play football as much as I can play football. The dude's been in the league now 5 years, or this is 5th year, 6 games in, has not missed a game, 73 straight. Just keeps going. He's been battling through a knee. Last year at the end of the season, he could barely move. Got on the field. Dude is such a credit for the organization to have. He's underpaid now too, for the record.
You do another
that long snapper money.
It's an
his
addition.
production is just been he signed a team friendly deal. Not that he's nobody needs to feel bad for Cole. He's making a ton of money. He's living a great life. But if you marked out where he is, what he's doing on the field to what he should be getting paid in the NFL, he's underpaid.
Well, when you talk about the long snappers, the last few years, Patrick Manley has started the Patrick Manley Award for the best long snappers out of college, because in college football, they give away awards for all these different positions, but long snapper isn't one of them. So he's trying to shine a light on this position as somebody that was literally the ambassador for before Patrick Manley in the 80s, and there weren't long snappers on the depth chart. Somebody on the team just had to do it. And then it became a point where they had to make that a specific role on the depth chart. And so to your point, Mark, giving kids an opportunity when they're coming through high school, coming through college, trying to make it into the NFL. There's some guys that are smart enough to say, hey, I may not be able to do this, that, and the other, but I can be a long snapper in the league. And if I do it consistently and have the right technique, I can play at the top level of this game.
I just saw a question in there about why centers don't long snap.
I had the same question. I'm looking at Doug Kramer. Like, couldn't you have done that?
Well, here's the answer to that. People don't realize that when you're the snap on long snaps is actually more like a throw. So they have two hands on the ball, but the left hand is actually more just your guide hand. You're actually holding it like you would normally throw a football, and you're honestly just throwing it through your legs. And so when you think about that, I end up having a lot of like ex-quarterbacks who are good at it because it's more like throwing.
Right. There's the spin.
The ball.
They literally time the spin on the ball as it comes back.
Where if you think about when most centers are growing up, now some offensive tackles transition from more athletic positions, but centers that make it to the NFL are typically, interior offensive linemen with some rare exceptions that have been playing offensive line since high school. They're not throwing the ball a whole lot, right? Yep. So your long snappers. Now, obviously, in Patrick Manley's case, he was an offensive tackle who ended up transition. So it's not like I'm not trying to say that that's 100% of the time, but that is sort of the answer to that question, and that's like the expectation of thinking that every center can just snap the ball a little bit farther than a shotgun. It's not really how that works.
Well, the Bears centers can barely snap it to the quarterback. So, let's keep our expectations, reasonable here.
Well, and just going back to what he actually does for a living, the catch over the middle, and I know that Nick over here is scouting old school Shane Waldron plays that look awful familiar to that touchdown pass today, but not satisfied. I'm going to truck you and take you to the goal line, which I guess you're not allowed to extend the ball. Is that a fine thing for the Bears? Well, he was saying like you might get fined for that. I was a little confused.
Technically, unless it's like a 4th and goal situation, they don't want you to hold the ball over the goal line because it exposes it to a fumble.
Well, technically, that's stupid.
Okay, we'll see the next time they fumble the ball at the 1 yard line if you think it's stupid.
Braggs will pay the fine.
Cole Kmet makes no mistakes.
No, and guys, really quickly on that touchdown that he had, the first one off the good play design. I think you said it earlier, Greg. Shane Waldron was in his bag. He went back to his bag in 2023 when the 49ers played the Seahawks. Drew Lock, of all quarterbacks, hit his tight end, Colby Parkinson, in the middle of the field on the exact same play. Exact same play, going back to that double screen, wide open tight end in the middle of the field. Brought that out here in London. Worked to perfection.
I guarantee that play is in Shane Waldron's resume 4 or 5 times.
Oh, yeah.
Like that's something you've seen more times than not. It was very recognizable and when you talk about him being in his bag, there was another point where they had motion in the backfield, swing out, fake right, and then a little screen pass left.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the little wrinkles that Shane Waldron certainly brings to the table. And it's been fun to watch that kind of come to fruition.
Well, and it's good to bring up Shane Waldron because as part of being the offensive coordinator of the Chicago Bears, it's in your contract that we only talk about you when things are going poorly.
Exactly right.
So that's just the way it is. But in all seriousness, like this is and this is how it's supposed to work, though, right? When you have the quarterback to help you too,
absolutely,
and the offensive line starts to play better, you're going to look better as an offensive coordinator, but he deserves his flowers too, because the play calling, really, there weren't any issues. There really hasn't been many issues since that awful goal line sequence in in Indianapolis a few weeks ago. And Mark Potash tweeted this earlier, which is incredible. Another amazing Bear stat. He said the Eagle has landed. The Bears have scored 5 offensive touchdowns in back-to-back games for the first time since 1956,
when Mark was just starting his media career,
when Greg started drinking.
I mean, they haven't had 5 offensive touchdowns back-to-back weeks since 1956.
Great job by Potsy, and they could add more. I mean, really,
they
were if they needed to, they would have. They got to sit on it.
And we talked about in the beginning, like, they're taking advantage of these bad defenses. You still got to execute, and they're demolishing these teams. And again, credit to Shane Waldron for getting guys open. Caleb's making throws. You're isolating Keenan Allen in one-on-one situation. That's what a good play caller does, and we're starting to see I think Shane's getting in a little rhythm here. The bye week comes, and they've been putting up points ever since.
I've completely blacked out from this the last 2 weeks,
know.
and it's not from the drinking. It's from the offensive production. We are not used to this here, especially with the expectations being so high for Caleb Williams. 6 games in, he's meeting those expectations. It's exciting.
Keenan getting going is
Huge.
you have to have it on third down. Where are you going? Who's going to get open and make the catch? And Keenan showing up that way, that's a big time development for the offense.
Well, I mean, like I said, I would love to. We could spend 30 minutes talking about that seam red zone touchdown to Keenan Allen, back shoulder throw. Trevor Lawrence later in the game had the exact same opportunity to make that play, and he threw it over his head out of bounds. And to me, that just goes, look, Trevor Lawrence, in his 3rd year now? And he was fourth.
He was Justin's draft.
Fourth year in the league. He was billed as a generational quarterback. He misses that throw. Caleb Williams in his 6th game threads the needle, back shoulder. I can't emphasize enough. Go back and watch that 100 times tonight, Bears fans, and remind yourself that is the quarterback you're going to have for the next 10 to 15 years.
100 times, team.
100 times.
Everybody. 100 times.
To me, that kind of play is like when Derrick Rose dunked on Goran Dragic, and I'm telling myself, we have this. This is our player. That's what I was thinking when Caleb Williams made the throw. This is our quarterback now. We get to watch him every Sunday.
Well, the guy that intercepted Trevor Lawrence in this game was Josh Blackwell, who we'll talk about why he was in the game because that wasn't good for Kyler Gordon. We'll get to that in a second. But he did get the interception, which was great. And you guys got a chance to talk to Josh Blackwell in the locker room.
Yeah, myself and RG were there as Blackwell, who's one of the more likable guys in that locker room that's full of likable guys. And great to see him making a play today, his first ever pick. So here's our little brief convo in the corner with the Bears punt returner, cornerback, just specialist who's got an opportunity today. John Burns just threw 4 touchdown passes. You got to pick. You guys are 4-2. You're going into the bye. I'm assuming this is the high point of maybe even personal and your Bears career right now.
It was pretty cool. That was a pretty cool experience. And obviously, like watching the offense, we love when the offense succeeds because it's a team game, right? And when they do well and we do well, I mean, you see the results. So yeah, definitely exciting for me as well, getting my first one. But yeah, I'm just excited to be a part of this.
What'd you see on the play?
Cover 2 drop. I just dropped to my normal drop, and we knew that they were going to pass. They were behind the sticks a little bit, so dropped to my zone, and then just kind of threw it to me. Honestly, so just catch it. You know what I mean, and then get up and get what you can, and yeah.
This is the most basic question of all time, but what did it feel like when the ball's in your hand and you know that this has happened? I've got to pick. I'm in the NFL, and there's this moment.
Definitely an out-of-body experience for sure. It's surreal, but I'm definitely blessed, to say the least.
When you see guys, going down, you know that, okay, time is here, so it's sort of what you've been working for.
For sure. I mean, you never want to see a guy go down, right? You never want to see a guy kind of like, that's my dog, so you never want to see anybody get hurt. But when that opportunity presents itself for you to step up, and so you got to make the most of it because they're counting on you.
12 straight games, teams have not scored more than 20 points against you guys.
Special. That's just a testament to all 11. Whoever's on the field, and the coaching. It's just a testament to everybody that's sticking together and sticking to the plan and making the most of what we got.
And last one here. You guys always have confidence in your NFL players, but to start to see the wins come, you would think that this is just going to build and build potentially.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we'd hope so, right? Like we put the work in, and we've known we were a special team. Even last season, we knew we were a special team, and it was just like we just got to figure out how to put them together. And I think that was a catalyst this season, and then we made the most of it.
Did you like the Elijah Hicks celebration with the back pedal in the end zone?
Yeah, of course. That's my guy. Yeah.
What you talking about?
Clean up on aisle 3.
What happened?
The back pedal was sweet.
I appreciate it.
So there you go. Josh Blackwell, his locker was right next to Elijah Hicks, and when the Bears got what we thought was a turnover on the fumble, which got overturned, I don't know if you noticed that, but Elijah was leading him into the end zone with the back pedal, and that was a little fun moment there. But Blackwell, right, the ball was thrown right to him, but hey, playing his position correctly, getting it done, and it was just good to see that guy have some success. I've been rooting for him.
Now, you guys mentioned Kyler Gordon, maybe that He was walking okay to get on the bus, which is good. I mean, that's a guy you don't want to lose. I mean, the Bears secondary was stressed today. First play of the game, they went after Jalen Jones, and I was like, okay, this might be interesting. But I think for the most part he held his own. And then obviously Jaquan Brisker wasn't out there, and then you lose Kyler Gordon. All of a sudden, this great secondary we've been talking about so much early on in the season is down 3 guys in the second half, but you're seeing that depth show up.
You're seeing Eberflus, what he said on Friday, a pair and a spare at every position, right? And these guys are always ready regardless of what's happening in the situation. Kyler Gordon was having himself a game before he ended up getting injured on a blocking play. But then you have Josh Blackwell come in there and make his interception. He's a guy that's been on this team for a while and has done well when he's filled in. Elijah Hicks broke. I would say, these Jaguars wide receivers had problems with catching, but Elijah Hicks was there to kind of disrupt the pass in the end zone. So these guys in the secondary that don't normally get the playing time stepped up when they needed to, when the Bears secondary was definitely hurt.
100%. This Bears secondary has had probably, when you looked at what position group, when we ranked them going into training camp, we said this secondary was the top of the top, and they're showing it right now. And so good for Elijah Hicks to step up in big moments. Good for Josh Blackwell, Jalen Jones holding the line. These are guys that have been here for a few years, unspoken names, guys that you wouldn't really know unless you're really dialed into the depth chart, but here they are making plays.
We might play 60 seconds with Jalen Jones at some point before we get out of here. He gave himself a B-. He did not. He didn't love his performance.
I bet you that's what Cole will give himself on the snaps too.
Yeah, okay, but that's
these guys hold themselves to a high standard, unlike us.
That is true.
Well,
that's true.
I like that.
Karm's doing an A+ show.
I'm having
right
an incredible
now
performance
in his head.
Just absolutely amazing.
I think you are actually. It's great. Hey,
this is kind of bizarre about what's about to happen here.
What's about to happen?
Well, your Karm's notes, just because typically your Karm's notes come to fruition at the studio. So these are Karm's notes from the stands. I'm curious.
I'm just happy he has them.
Press box.
By the way, Karm's notes are brought to you by Sunnyside. And you should go to sunnyside.shop for bright buys every day, including 50% off your first 3 online purchases. Enter promo code HICHGO at checkout to qualify. Exclusions apply. Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary. Bright buys every day, only for 21 plus or Illinois medical card holders.
Starting the Karm notes with whoever just walked in here wearing a punting is winning t-shirt with
go.
the state of Iowa on
Yeah.
it. And showing us that he's been watching the show on YouTube.
Did
now
you
coming
hit the
on
like
in here.
button?
Did you hit the like button? He did hit the like button. There it is.
Hit the like button.
I thought Tory Taylor had a great day today. The Karm notes is a 1-sheet today, which is I'm going to send Kevin Kadick a 1-sheet about a new project that I want to do as well. That's going to take CHGO to the next level.
He already denied it.
He already denied it. I'm going to keep on working on it.
That's not his jurisdiction, and he's got bigger problems.
I'm sorry, Karm. That is not the state of Iowa. That's Australia.
Oh, close enough. Close enough.
Like there's such a huge. I'm like, wait, the state of Iowa.
Well, it's in yellow and black. Why would that be Australia? That's the big.
You know where Tory Taylor's from?
Yes, I know where Tory Taylor is from, but do you know where he punted in college? Did that makes sense? That looks like the state of Iowa, kind of.
What?
No? Okay, fine.
He doubled down on it.
I did.
You went to school in Iowa.
I stick to my guns. That's the state of Iowa, even though it's Australia. All right, my bad. I apologize.
When I quizzed Karm of what are the 7 continents the other day, he could not name Australia.
I forgot about Australia. What's 2 plus 4? Okay. All right. Let's start out with Daniel Hardy was offsides to start the football game. How is that possible? Hoge, offsides, special teams, start the football game. Cost the Bears 5 yards.
I was looking at him before the snap, and I don't know. They're just that seemed like we're gonna
set the
tone here on these.
Okay.
Like maybe there was a meeting this week. Let's start enforcing these ticky-tack kickoff.
Well, he came back later and got himself a fumble. So it was a great job by Hardy. I was trying to talk to him afterwards, but that didn't work out. 3 and out. Caleb getting killed was my note on the first Bears drive, which is like that's the standard. I think you can basically write that for every single game.
They should just have Tyson play the first series of every game.
Maybe that'll do it. And then Tory Taylor with the boomer, a 50-yard net there, Hoger.
Yeah.
I mean, he
almost outkicked the coverage.
It was a 13-yard return on that thing. It was 50 yards. Those are my numbers, by the way. It could be 49, 51, but I had a 50-yarder. You can double check my work there. All right. Did anybody notice today that the entire stadium at one point wanted the Bears to challenge one catch that was made that clearly hit the ground? Yes, up there. Everyone saw it. Yet the Flusy did not.
Dump down to the running back.
Yeah. I mean, there was a huge reaction.
Was it incomplete?
I didn't see a replay. Was it?
I didn't see it either.
Anybody? Was it incomplete?
Hit the ground? Looks like
hit the ground.
Because the replay in the stadium, they were like dialed into behind the pocket. So like anytime they showed a replay, it was never anything downfield.
It's very rare that I get to sit next to Nicholas Moreano during a game, and when they were playing Uptown Funk You Up, you really got into it. You were singing to yourself. He was busting it out. I was like, this is a moment in time. Elijah Hicks, the backpedal on what we thought was an interception that became an incomplete pass. Yeah, that 22. He's got the energy.
Sure does.
He filled Jaquan Brisker's energy today. That's for sure.
Yeah. And does anybody notice Chris Williams doing anything for the Bears? Has anybody noticed 91? Not to I had my written binoculars on. I was watching him for a while.
Yeah,
I'm not. He got a sack later in the game.
Yep. Well, when I was watching earlier, I'll put that in the Australian folder. Good for Chris. Way to go. To that point,
we had a couple defensive linemen make some plays today, get a sack, right? That are typically like back end defense depth chart guys.
Well, Coward got at least half of one.
Coward got one early in the game.
One good for Chris. The Rome Modunze got the massive face mask that also everybody saw. No call there.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
That's not a penalty. It was under here. That's not a penalty.
You're not a penalty.
It's not. It was like the ear hole and under the part of the helmet. That's not a penalty.
All right, then I'll do that to you.
I don't. You go. I would have to put that helmet on.
Put the helmet on. I'll do it to you. We'll see if we call it a penalty.
So
HR.
This for a live in person Karm notes. When Caleb threw his third touchdown pass, it was the first 3 touchdown game for a Bears rookie since. Does anybody know?
Bears rookie.
1999. Cade McNown is correct. Kevin Kadick in the front row.
Against who?
Okay, I have no idea, but
I guarantee Marcus Robinson had 2 of those catches. God, I love Marcus Robinson.
Yeah. And last couple here, the replay assist today. Then nobody threw a flag or whatever. It actually was a first down via replay assist.
Yeah.
Why can't they had like tennis level replay today? Yeah. They just did it. Nobody needed to do anything. They just figured it out. It was a first down.
Do we tell them that's been in the league now for 2 years?
It's never happened at Soldier Field. We've never had replay assist at Soldier Field.
When it's clear and obvious, they have the technology now. They just go, okay, that was a first down, which I thought it was obvious. Mercedes Lewis wasn't down, and he laid the ball out, and it hit the line.
I'm not saying it wasn't obvious, but
What'd you just do with your computer there?
I folded it down like you do these things with the computer.
Okay, I didn't know.
Keep going.
I was looking for a pen. Thing. I didn't find.
All right, Shakespeare.
I just want to know who he's going to throw it at when he finishes.
Yeah, no. So Caleb got
sacked. Nick Verha right in the forehead.
Caleb got
people want the souvenir.
Caleb got sacked when there was 12 men on the field. I hated seeing that, and I already crumpled up the paper. I forgot my last cover. Now going deep in the corner. There we go.
Drop. That was a drop.
That's okay.
Like the Jaguars wide receivers.
Yeah.
Karm's notes, everyone.
Yeah, hey. It was tough today. I like to go.
That was probably his best Karm notes effort of the season. Wouldn't you agree?
I would not agree.
It was most efficient.
It was efficient.
Yeah.
Well, it was like Caleb versus the Rams.
I was tweeting. It was in a whole another situation there being at the game.
You did a great job.
Thank you.
By the way, to look at this division right now, it's crazy. I mean, the Packers are well on their way to going to 4-2. They are where I just had that score up. They were winning by. They did. They won 34-13 over the Arizona Cardinals. So they are 4-2. At this point, way too many Packer fans at that game today, by the way, and they didn't seem to understand what they were doing either.
That was on the notes too that I didn't write down. On the train ride, there was 3 Green Bay sucks chants on our way home. Right? Yeah.
Oh, just on the train because they were out in the
Yeah.
stadium
Well,
too.
and that definitely was one of my thoughts during the game. There was a lot of Green Bay sucks chants going on in the stadium, and I get for a lot of fans they don't get to partake in the Green Bay sucks tradition that we have in Chicago. You see it in the tunnel when you're going to the South Gate.
Everywhere.
You know, we're at Wrigley Field chanting during the summer. Caleb's chanting at the bar. And so I understand the novelty of that, and everyone wants to get into it. So I'm not hating on Green Bay sucks chants. Chant it till till the cows come home. But I wanted a few more "Let's Go Bears" chants because I felt like at the end of the game, they deserve that for what they the way they've turned the corner here. They started 1-2, now they're 4-2, and we always like to give Green Bay shit. But at the end of the day, I thought I was like, all right, forget Green Bay for a minute. The Bears are having a moment right here. Caleb Williams is having a moment. He almost had 5 touchdown passes at one point in the game. So I was having fun with the Green Bay sucks chance. But at the end of the day, sometimes I just want to forget about them for a minute.
Well, too bad because Mark Gauthier disagrees with you. He's got a $100 super chat.
The GOAT.
Rightfully so.
And he's here too. Thank you, CHGO and True Fan Travel for a great week. Bear down and Green Bay sucks. $100 super chat.
And that is why I don't have a voice right now, because I was trying so hard to get a "Let's Go Bears" chant going, for an entire quarter in the second half, and I just couldn't get. There was too many neutral fans. They weren't jumping on board with me, but it didn't stop me.
Clearly not.
I still tried.
Dude had to do a 2-hour podcast. He made the business decision. I'm gonna lose my voice to try to get a "Let's Go Bears" chance because you wanted it so bad, which is why I love you. You wanted it.
Dedication.
Yo, Bears. Let's go Bears. Let's go Bears.
Gave you the chant.
Thank you.
Good.
Thank you.
That's amazing.
That's amazing. All right.
Mark Carman sucked. Mark Carman sucked. I love you.
HR.
That looks like Kevin.
But getting back to what I was going to say, unfortunately, this division right now is ridiculous because the Vikings were off this week. They're 5-0. Detroit's playing the Cowboys here in a little bit. If the Lions lose to the Cowboys today, they're going to be in last place behind the Bears and the Packers, who are both 4-2. So it is going to be a gauntlet. It is going to be a lot of fun. There's a scenario where everybody in this division makes the playoffs, which would be crazy. Yeah.
Has that happened before?
I don't think so, because it's only been possible since they went to 7 teams, and that was only 2020. I don't think it's happened yet. So, wow.
I think my dad told you that was going to happen before we went on our flight to London.
I'd like to apologize to your father. I think I was not as positive as I should have been in the airport the other day. Please tell him that I apologize. He was the most optimistic Papa Nick that I've been around, and I was like, I kind of looked at him cross-eyed a couple of times, and I feel bad about it.
So I know we got to get super chats. I know we're starting to round third on this show, but the one guy that we haven't brought up yet that I want to make sure we shine a little bit of a light on is TJ Edwards. He forced the fumble. There was a big moment in the game.
Peanut
when you
punch.
talk about momentum swings. Yeah, the peanut punch. But then, to me, the other impressive thing was his coverage 40 yards downfield on a throw. He got beat.
Got a little lucky.
He got beat
Underthrown.
initially, but at the end of the day, he finished his coverage. He closed on the ball, and for him to break that pass up, TJ Edwards continues to make big plays for this teams.
And that was on Brian Thomas Jr., if I'm not mistaken. So that's just a mismatch right there.
Yeah.
A wide receiver on a linebacker, but
So slightly underthrown.
underthrown.
But at the end of the day, TJ was getting to
Finish
where
the
he
play.
needed to.
Finish the play.
Yeah. I mean, that you talk about the hits philosophy, TJ Edwards, because on the fumble, that was a big play. They were about to hit a 20-yarder pass midfield. It's only 14-3 at that point, so it could have created a situation where you got yourself a ball game in the second half. Instead, it's a fumble. It goes the other way, and it changes the entire complexion of the game.
Hoge, and shout out to TJ. I'm sorry to take a left turn here, but I got to get this in. Do you guys know who Charlie O'Rourke is? Have you heard that name today? Has that been talked? Charlie O'Rourke?
No.
Quarterback?
Charlie O'Rourke was drafted by the Chicago Bears in 1941. Charlie O'Rourke was drafted in the 5th round in 1941. Let's all go back to 1941. Let's envision it. It's you know,
what was he like in the locker room?
It was the Depression era, World War II. Oh, terrible, you know, scary time for the world.
Guarantee Karm was a draft dodger.
Okay, you need to stop talking. Sid Luckman was the Bears quarterback at the time, but O'Rourke came in his rookie year. He was 37 of 88, 37 completions. But of those 37, 11 of them were touchdowns, which is the Chicago Bears rookie record for touchdowns in a season. Caleb now has how many? He had 4 today. He had 7, 8, whatever it is.
Well, I thought you knew.
He's chasing down O'Rourke. He is chasing O'Rourke. It's going to happen. We need next shirt, chasing O'Rourke.
He has 9.
No,
Caleb Williams has 9 touchdowns.
He's 3 away from being the leader. He's going to take down O'Rourke for the Bears rookie record. Yes, Adam?
Okay. I think that's safe to say.
Yes.
Yeah.
Chasing O'Rourke.
Our rookie leader in touchdown passes is Charlie freaking O'Rourke from the 1941 draft, a 5th-round pick who played behind Luckman.
I'm just blown away by the 11 of 37 completions being touchdowns.
O'Rourke had it.
Happening.
That's good.
O'Rourke did have an ability to get into the end zone like no other. O'Rourke was the man. Can we get Charlie O'Rourke on the show? I'm assuming he's no longer with us, but if he is, let's run him down. He passed away in 2000. He lived to 82. O'Rourke, call the O'Rourke family.
I would
get a
grandson. Hell
grandson.
of a get.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I think we can get an O'Rourke on here. I'm gonna make that my bye-week
This is
mission.
the only podcast where you're going to get a mention of O'Rourke.
Charlie O'Rourke. That's the guy.
There he is.
Good stuff.
Chasing O'Rourke.
We should get to super chats, and then we got to continue this party elsewhere. I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have 2
We have
bottles.
7,000 interviews that I guess
I
we're
went
gonna
to a
upload.
grocery. I went to a grocery store yesterday because I wasn't sure what time the hotel lobby was going to close their bar down today because it's a Sunday, right? So, you know, being the classy guy that I am, I bought 2 bottles of whiskey and like 20 beers just in case. And we have to drink all those tonight because we're leaving on Tuesday, and now we have to celebrate. You're gonna drink them. You're gonna drink it. You're gonna drink it. Steven's gonna drink. Don't shake your head no at me. Don't shake your head no at
entire
me.
conversation could have been had after the show.
You can just with all
Could it though?
with all your best friends here, they will
Yeah.
they will.
Don't worry, they'll take care of you.
By the way, the 9 touchdowns.
I'm going to Paris in the morning, so I might just go to bed.
That's stupid.
No, I know. I'm not going to do that.
The 9
We got
touchdowns.
football to watch. There's so much more football to watch.
I know that part is really weird. It's like this is the start of the afternoon games right now.
The 9.
I love that.
It's great.
The 9 touchdowns, 9 times. Ed Rudy 9. That Caleb has ties him with Mitchell Trubisky and Justin Fields. What they did in their rookie year.
That's right. That's right.
I don't mean to bring those guys up right now,
But that was their whole rookie year.
correct.
That
was their entire.
We
rookie
just
year.
got through week 6.
That's why
Supers.
O'Rourke is still alive.
Super
Even though he's
dupers.
dead.
All right, Jonathan Otten, $10. Give Bragg some damn brick juice to heal that voice.
We'll make it.
Something tells me that more whiskey and yelling is not going to be the.
That's the cure.
I made it through today's show.
You have another show tomorrow.
These guys were questioning whether or not I would make it through today's postgame show. I knew I'd be fine because
not over yet.
I am dominating today. But there is a show tomorrow, which I probably will not have a voice for. So we will have to have James do the show with Mark Carman.
I'm taking. I will be taking applications after the show. Whoever feels like they're going to be here tomorrow at 7:00 at night and wants to talk Bears, I would love to have you.
The room will be filled again, probably. Miles Richards, $199. Bragg's big fan. I'm in the lobby.
Miles, I'm coming. I have some whiskey.
Got the whiskey.
We're gonna have some fun. I may or may not stop working as soon as this show's over.
Who's saying $4.99? Great win. Quick question. Why does Herbert get no play on offense? Swift is playing well, but we know Herbert can perform as well. I don't know. I mean, it's a fair question at this point, but DeAndre Swift's playing really, really well, so it's not even kind of worth
And so is Roschon Johnson.
Yeah.
I mean, those 3rd down receptions that he had in today's game, those were clutch in some of the drives that they were having in that game. So
but you still need Khalil Herbert.
You still need him.
there's always going to come a point where there's an injury. Like people saying, like, oh, well, then get rid of no.
But that's his role now at this point, and people are just going to have to accept that, including Khalil. Like, remember Deonta Foreman last year? Like, he wasn't involved, and I think he was inactive a couple times.
But at the same time, when you get your opportunity, you have a chance to take that opportunity.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though. But then he got his run when who was it last year that would have been hurt then? So anyway, the way it worked out where he had to actually start, and then he had a pretty decent game.
They had Darrington Evans last year. They had Deontay Foreman. They had Khalil.
Johnny DeVivo, $10 super sticker.
We love the super stickers.
Super sticker. And then what else we got next here? We got Michael Renouf, $199. Caleb the Great.
I like it.
Yeah.
Caleb, too, just his whole locker room demeanor, too. He's just walking around like he's been doing this for 30 years. He seemed very, very, very calm.
Javen Terry, $20. I started shedding tears after Caleb's third touchdown pass. We finally have an elite quarterback and defense at the same time. If our O-line gets fixed, I don't know what I'll do. You can nitpick every QB game. Nobody is perfect. We got our guy.
No debate there.
Yeah. And that is true. I mean, even, but that's what I'm trying to say that's different about this is, even when Patrick Mahomes goes off and has a great game, there's usually two or three throws that are off. And so these are the type of games you want to be talking about. You want to try that name?
That is Philip Charles Van der Hayden IV, my guy.
A region guy. Thank you very much.
Oh, then maybe he wants to hear your dulcet tones read his super chat.
Philip,
me
after you.
Okay,
sir.
$9.99 from Philip. Boys, the Bears have a quarterback. Thank you for all you guys do. Bear the hell down, Philip. That's
amazing.
That is the takeaway right now. The Bears have somebody who is playing quarterback who is going to make a difference for hopefully a long time. Eric Collins, $5 when it happens. In 1956, they played the NFL title game. 2024 Super Bowl appearance. There you go, Eric. You can tie this in. I mean, how high is up for the Bears right now? Nobody knows. Why take chips off the table? Martin Ochoa, $5 with the Bears being 4-2 now. Does that change any expectations you had for the season? Thanks for everything you could do, guys. Spare down. Yes, Martin. For me, I had them 9-8. That feels light right now to me.
Ooh.
It does. I'm not. The schedule's going to be tough, but
double digits.
I mean, they're getting better each week. I mean, come on.
To me, they're right on track. I mean, could they have been 5-1? Yes, they could have beaten the Colts and be sitting at 5-1.
But anybody would have taken 4-2 at the start.
Anybody, including myself, takes 4-2 all day long. But now you have 3 games here coming up before you get to the gauntlet, as we're all calling it, where you start with your divisional opponents, and then you have Washington or San Francisco and Seattle, with the other 6 divisional games you have for the final 8 games. So you have 3 games here to have an opportunity to either be 6-3 or 7-2. You can't be less than that because the gauntlet is going to take quite a bit to fight your way to 10 wins. And the more wins you can get before you get to the gauntlet, if you somehow are 7-2 before your final 8 games, all you have to go is 3-5 to get to 10.
Here's the thing, though, about the gauntlet. You can't win in this league unless you win in your division. So we can call it the gauntlet. We can call it whatever you want, but you got to win in the NFC North. So that's all going to be in front of them regardless, and you have to beat those teams.
Right, and when I was sitting in the stands with some guy, shout out to my guy Ryan from Florida, big fan of the show, sitting next to him, and he was telling me, like, well, what's going to happen when they play good teams? Well, a month from now, when they do start playing those good teams, this isn't going to be the team we saw today, even as fun as it was last week as well. So let me know what this team looks like a month from now when they are ready to start playing those good teams. That's what's exciting about this. This defense is a Super Bowl caliber defense. It is. They have the depth there. If the offense can play to this level, when you start playing the serious teams, now you've got something cooking to the point of Mark Carman saying it feels a little light at 10. I'd still take the 10 at the end of the day, but I think the sky's the limit with this team. The better Caleb Williams plays and the more he gets acclimated to the speed of the game.
Do we have more supers, Steven? George Bayless with £5. Sorry, missed you all. What a win. Can we do it every week?
Every week.
Barrelissimo. P.S. Greg is still my Thunder buddy.
We haven't said that today, but this is the first time they've won 3 in a row in the Matt Eberflus era. Let's give it up for the Flus. Let's give it up for the Flus. Three. We got you. Me and Nick passed the Flus in the tunnel, and I smiled.
I saw
at
him on the bus on the way out of here.
There you go.
Leading the way.
He loves
leading
our show.
the way.
He's listening right now, and he appreciates the shout out. That's right.
Yeah.
No more Flus abuse. That's right.
Well, that's this guy. This is the guy who fired him 19 times.
Time out. Yes, I did fire him 6 times last year. But this year, everyone begged me to fire the coaching staff the first 2 weeks.
No, you don't get to take a victory lap.
Yes, I am. Right now, I preach patience, and now here we are. The patience is paying off. Didn't fire anyone.
Nobody has vision like you have vision.
Yeah, Mark has another one. Let's go Bears, $2 super chat.
Double vision right now.
Yep.
No, that's not good.
We know.
Thanks, Goat. You're the man.
And Steven here with £5 was at the game today. Great atmosphere, great performance. Keep it coming.
It really was.
Yeah, it was really cool.
It really was.
So
That was a celebration.
100%. All right, guys. Well, we are gonna have one more show tomorrow.
I just got the feeling in my stomach of sickness, like summer's over and I've got to go back. I got to go back to school and it's 7th grade and I'm going to start. I just had that feeling. I don't want this to end.
Well, yeah, we've got one more day, and obviously we'll finish with some pleasantries next week as our
CEO. We wouldn't be here without him. We wouldn't be here without him.
That's not true.
It is true.
That's not true.
It absolutely is true.
That's not true.
It's the most true thing I've ever said.
But it really has been this whole week, like when you talk about living up to the expectations of everything we planned here with True Fan Travel, shout out to those guys. Vince doing a completely phenomenal job in all the different events we've done, from the boat cruise to yesterday's.
How did his voice get stronger the more he talked on this show?
I don't.
It's unbelievable.
Dominating.
He sounds better now.
I'm just confused. The CEO sat down. Yeah, he's continuing with this point.
Well, it's
okay.
You should have taken his.
All right.
See, listen, if
it's all right.
Would just let me set him up, I promise.
Yes,
get to it.
Stop with your bollocks. Let him go.
Let Greg do it.
Yeah.
And so to me, that honestly, there was points in the game, Brandon, where I got emotional because for me, it did mean so much for all of you guys to show up and show support to what we do. Truly, I'm getting emotional right now. I'll try not to get overly emotional. I don't want to overcook the ham, but it is the truth. I was able to watch this game with my wife. I haven't been able to see a game in the stands in a few years. To be able to see a Bears win meant a lot to me, meant a lot to do that with my wife. I videotaped Adam with his family singing Sweet Caroline, all four of them. That was a special moment. And, Nick with his fiance.
The softest, tough guy in the world.
Mark was with himself, and it was just a beautiful thing.
It was great.
Brandon came out with his wife, and you guys just dominate this thing, and you guys set this up on a silver platter for us and for all of us fans to be able to enjoy this together. And we're going to continue to enjoy tonight, but we can't thank you enough for everything you do, but it has lived up to every single expectation we possibly can.
This was amazing. Hey, listen, I was thinking about this today. And this is something that's really important to understand. And I can say this. So I grew up as a Chiefs fan, and I can tell you this right now, you guys, is a really, really, this is a really special moment. This turning point in your franchise where you have a guy that's growing and you're starting to collect wins and stuff. And you talked about how emotional this is. As you start to win and you start to create success, these moments will go away and you will stop feeling good about these little things. And this is something that I don't think is ever talked about enough in sports, because I can tell you right now that in my son, right, because of me, he's grown up as a Chiefs fan as well. And I remember him telling him 8 years ago, dude, this is a terrible choice. This is not good. And I had no idea Mahomes is going to be him. Right. And this was 25 years without a playoff win. I'm like, dude, this is rough. Right. But I can tell you now, regular season doesn't matter. Close games don't matter. Nothing is ever emotional. Nothing the last Super Bowl was cool. It was the third Super Bowl win though. It wasn't as special as today was for you.
Right.
So just really remember these things And I can tell you this also, like, as our headquarters is in Denver, right? And I grew up a Nuggets fan. I'm still a Nuggets fan. Nuggets won a championship. I can tell you that last year was very different. Like, when the Nuggets won the championship, I remember driving into work, listening to the DNVR Nuggets postgame show. I was like emotional. I was teary-eyed driving into work. I couldn't believe the Nuggets won. We weren't supposed. The Nuggets, very much like the Bears, they're a team that you didn't feel like we're not supposed to win an NBA title, right? And so, like, but the very next year was like very different, right? Like, and even if you get to a point like we have an Eagles network, right? And like, if the Eagles win 10 games, we have a network in Dallas, right? If the Cowboys win 10, 11 games, it's as London would say, it's bullocks, right? Like, this not good, right? And so, like, this is like this kind of crossover point where you're at here, where the wins are important and you're starting to see this kind of conceptualize. Like, this is really powerful. This is where all the fun in sports is right here.
Well, as they say,
it's right now.
As they say, that the journey is more fun than the destination.
That's right.
Because once you get there, all you think about, is like, okay, what's next? But the journey is where you enjoy it. And that's for me. We're at the ground floor of the Caleb Williams era, and it's exciting to be a part, like, as a fan, just to be a part of watching this rise.
Yeah. I blow up Hoge all the time. I'm hoping that my texts, sometimes he brings my analysis in, he never does.
You don't want me to read the text you were writing about Caleb in the first half.
I did. Listen, I felt that was right, though, right? I felt that was right, because what I was seeing was like, because seeing it in person was like, as a longtime football guy who's done every little aspect inside of football you can do other than play pro football, right? Which, is the holy grail here. But at the end of the day, like, I just seeing him in person, I was like, okay, I get it, right? So, like, and what I saw is like a guy who goes through every single read, right? And he does it right. And like, if the play breaks down before, like if the protection breaks down, he doesn't get through him, well, then he may, take a sack, or something like that, or
hold it for an hour,
or hey, earlier in the game, they do that boot action because stretch was successful. Boot action, he gets out, he throws it to Cole Kmet, who's open. DJ Moore was wide open. Cole Kmet was his first read, though. He's doing ABCs and 1, 2, 3s right now. And so, like, my big takeaway from today was like, he threw 4 touchdown passes and however many yards with the ABCs and 1, 2, 3s. He's not even going to the line of scrimmage saying, okay, this guy is going to be open here, and I know this is my third read, but I'm going to hot route this right here, because he's not even doing that. ABCs and 1, 2, 3s right now, just going through the reads as he's taught, like a little student, and he's throwing 4 touchdown passes. Like, and that's what I was trying to say. It wasn't necessarily the knock on him. I was just like he's going to be special.
It's like he's forcing himself to stay disciplined.
That's right.
Let me get to I think the home run point that you want to make right now is you want to tell everybody in this room and you believe it, like, deep in your soul, the Chicago Bears are headed. You don't know when, if it's this year, the next year, whatever, but you see a team that is ultimately going to win the Super Bowl. That's what you're saying. You're saying that, Brandon. You just said that.
Yeah, I feel like you got to get lucky. A lot has to happen.
And they have to play the Chiefs in New Orleans.
Yeah. I mean, listen, a lot has to happen. At the end of the day, like, what really does have to happen is you have to build this thing that wins in the most pivotal moments, which is like I don't know how to do that. That's like the hard thing. It's the very, very last step of, like, I was telling the story to someone today. In the fourth quarter last week, the Chiefs were in a 3rd and 22, and someone was saying, like, there's no way they're going to get this. And I said, well, they have to. So they're going to, because, like, didn't matter what they did. And Travis Kelce catches like a 10-yard crosser, and then he pitches it, and then they end up getting 21 of the 22, and they run for the last inch to get them. And it was like they did, like, they had to. That's like the very, 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 very last capsule of the championship team. But before that, like, you can jump a ton of spaces before that. And the good thing is, in the NFC, really, that guy doesn't exist right now, right? Like, I mean, who's the biggest? The Vikings right now? Is that the biggest, right?
I mean, they're technically undefeated.
Right.
Right now, it just seems like
Brock Purdy.
Yeah. So, I mean,
honestly, it just seems like the division the Bears are in right now is the biggest hurdle.
Yeah. So, I mean, listen, if it's Brock Purdy or it's the Minnesota Vikings, like, in 49ers are great. We've seen them be able to get beat, right? So, like, I mean, hey, the Bears have a shot.
I'll make the point again.
Bears got a shot to be super competitive. They can beat anybody. Like, you don't want to play, especially with the way they're playing defense right now and the way that, from an effort standpoint, and they're so active and they're so opportunistic. There's one of the most, I watch all the teams. I mean, they are maybe the most opportunistic. You see the fumbles, you see the picks. Like, by the way, Hicks outstanding today, right?
You could probably see in person today how they really do rally to the ball.
They really do. They really do. They really do. And the one thing too, I was going to say is last one. Sorry, Karm.
No, keep going.
Is I just thought like that offensive line. I didn't, they struggle a little bit when they're isolated, but like when you start getting them moving around left and right, they're a pretty athletic group too. They get upfield pretty well. They get to the second level well. Like, I like this team a lot. Like, these guys have a shot.
Well, they're starting to figure out the lanes too for DeAndre. So there was one point where DeAndre sort of cut back and Matt Pryor was like, they're like, get out of my way, like hitting a nice move, and so that's what I try to tell people the first 3 weeks of the season when everybody's like sounding the alarms, like they need time. They need to build that chemistry and continuity and figure out what they can do well, what they don't want to throw this in the trash bin. This is what we're going to do. And now you have a bye week here. You're coming up against a game against the Commanders where it's Jaden Daniels versus Caleb Williams. Everybody's going to be hyped up about that game, but you have 6 weeks of film to watch. You have 2 weeks to rest up. It's a huge opportunity for them to kind of start to bolt down what they can do well to start winning more games.
I just love Caleb. So he had 6 incompletions. One went off an offensive lineman's head. One
That's good conversation.
One was the interception. 2 were throwaways. So I just accounted for 4.
Well, and I texted you on the pick because the pick was exactly what I was trying to say earlier, which was like, and I saw we had some tweets. I saw a couple from even our guys because you couldn't tell on TV. It was saying that was the worst pass he's thrown, or he underthrew that. No. The problem was that was his last read, and he identified it last, and he saw he was open. He let go of it. It was cover 3. That safety was able to come over and make a pick. But next year at this time, he'll get that early. Mm-hmm. And that's the difference. And that's why I'm so excited about this. Anyway, I don't mean to start your show all over again.
No, but
too much analysis.
I love it.
I love this.
What I wanted to underline is what you were saying is that the Bears have the best quarterback in the division. if you had to like play it out logically,
you always got to take it back to sports talk, right? We always got to. You just do I got to go? Do we got to rant on this?
He's trying to break down plays.
There's no.
Yes. Caleb Williams is the greatest quarterback Chicago has ever seen, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
That's what you get. Screw the analysis. Let's go with the hyperbole. Let's do it.
Carm just wants to do breakfast ball.
Let's do it.
No hyperbole. You said it.
Carm had these red hats. He said, "Make Bears great again." I'm like, dude, what are we doing? Like, what kind of hyperbole? What are we going for here? What kind of campaign is this, Carm?
Hey,
what are we doing?
I did put out when they were. I thought I had a great tweet today. They're booing the Jags, but not even in London. They're booing the Jags, but not not in Springfield.
What does that mean? Nobody knows what you're talking about.
Nobody gets that reference in Springfield. They're eating the dogs. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
it's kind of good. My favorite thing, my number one favorite thing about Bears fans is you're blowing out the Jaguars in London, and the whole stadium is chanting "Green Bay sucks."
Yeah.
I mean,
that's right.
That's literally the best thing.
That's what we do.
Greg didn't like it today. I liked it. I thought it was great.
I love it. I think it's great.
Greg, you wanted more. Let's go Bears.
We don't do F-bombs anymore on these, right? We can't do that anymore.
I don't know. Well, we're not supposed to. I don't think we're on the fast channel, right?
Honestly,
are we on Roku right now?
No one seems to know.
Yeah. I don't think I know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Fuck Green Bay.
All right. There we go.
Yeah.
Okay. If we ever open Green Bay,
those are Allie's.
Delete this.
Yeah. Those are Allie's rules. So we'll just report you to Allie.
That sounds intimidating.
That's terrifying.
In all seriousness, this is the man who's in charge here, and part of the reason why all of this has been possible this week, along with True Fan Travel and our great partnership with them. It's been awesome. So thank you so much. Because today
it's not over. We still got another day here.
I know. We got another show tomorrow.
And for those who want more Bears content, there will be interviews going up of Coleman Shelton, which was great, outstanding job by whoever did that interview. That was
really proud of his interview.
That was outstanding.
You're gonna want to pull it through eventually.
The Matt Pryor in the locker room interview today, whoever did that was unbelievable.
We get Cole Kmet. We got 2 All-City touchdowns today.
We tried.
But he's gonna take his victory lap on all the other guys.
Jalen Jones is going to be a great opportunity for you. Like there'll be all these interviews from the locker room.
So when you guys try to talk to Coles, you're like, I do a show with you. Like, you're not getting exclusive with me.
I said 85, and he looked at me with this big smile. He's like, I really just want to see my family. And I said, okay, I understand.
That's good. I wouldn't have let him see his family.
You probably wouldn't have. I agree.
When he yelled at him.
You would have said, we are your family, and then you would have followed him into the room.
I didn't even know that Cole had a family. I just thought he just wandered around the world at 6'5" as a beautiful man, just like ruining everything.
I was confused too. I was like, what? Your family's here?
Families come and go. 2 touchdowns in London. They live forever.
Is that why Jenny's not in here right now?
Jenny is sleeping right now. She didn't hear that comment.
You, Jenny.
Yeah.
None of you judge me. Or no Jack Daniels.
I would like some of that. Can I wrap the show so we can have that? Everybody cheers. All right, it's over. Talking about this whiskey, I want some. All right, thank you to everybody for being here too. This crew has been amazing, all of you, all week long.
Thank you,
everybody
guys.
watching back home, and as we learn throughout the whole weekend across the world too.
Nick Moreano, thanks for the substitute. Appreciate you, brother. I'm the 5th man.
You should have taken Karm's seat.
It always comes down to Karm.
Yeah.
We'll be back. We're gonna do a 7 p.m. show tomorrow?
We're gonna do
the plan.
7 o'clock tomorrow.
That's 1 p.m. back home.
Yeah, me and Karm.
Normal show time on Monday.
Yeah, me and Karm at 7 p.m. London time are just gonna spend an hour choking each other to death.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
You can do whatever you want. I'll be out of here. All right. Thanks so much. Bears win. What an awesome day in London. We will talk to you tomorrow.